Hi everybody, it's David Porter, and this afternoon I want to talk about nootropics. Nootropics are cognitive performance enhancers. These are prescription medications or over-the-counter preparations which are intended to enhance cognitive performance, to improve memory and concentration, to improve recall, and basically to crank up your IQ and make you smarter. The short version is most of them don't work, or they come with very heavy side effects which outweigh the benefits, or they work for some people, they provide some benefit, but it's questionable whether or not it's a placebo effect or whether or not the benefits are significant. So here are a couple of possibilities for cognitive performance enhancement, and there is solid science behind this, and there's these substances also have a long history of safety, and the two that I'm talking about are caffeine and theobromine. Caffeine, also known as, boy, that guy in that vehicle just came real close to my car. Unnecessary to come that close. Anyhow, the two that I'm talking about, caffeine and theobromine. Caffeine, also known as 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine, is the psychoactive ingredient found in the coffee bean and the kola nut. Caffeine is a mild central nervous system stimulant with a half-life of about 3 to 6 hours, and multiple studies and huge amounts of anecdotal evidence indicate that it will improve alertness and concentration. And if you have attention deficit disorder, caffeine can make a huge difference in your performance. People with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, have the primary problem is right here in the right frontal lobe. They, for whatever reason, do not have enough connections working in the right frontal lobe, and caffeine can temporarily crank up the voltage, and that's actually not a metaphor, that's really what's happening in the right frontal lobe, and the connections in the right frontal lobe, and allow someone to focus and to concentrate and stay on a task and get some work done. Caffeine can also be a mild athletic performance enhancer because it's been well established that caffeine will increase the strength of skeletal muscle contractions, and multiple studies have shown that. You go in the gym, you compare two groups that go in the gym, the caffeinated group is going to be able to lift a significantly higher amount of weight for more repetitions than the decaf group when you have people of comparable strength and body mass and experience. So caffeine has potential as both a mild, short-term cognitive and athletic performance enhancer. Caffeine is safe for most people. There is some question whether or not pregnant moms should be drinking it, or if you're breastfeeding, you don't want to serve your baby a latte. They probably aren't ready for that yet. Wait until they're a little older. And caffeine is also, it's been found, is a potent antioxidant, and it has multiple health benefits. Coffee is some of the best news I've heard in a long time. An umbrella study, that is a series of meta-analyses with very large samples, found that coffee, when consumed in around 16 ounces a day, not more than that, and more than that won't hurt, but it won't create any benefits either, has multiple protective effects on multiple organ systems, renal and hepatic, that is kidneys and liver, your cardiovascular system, and is also indicated in the prevention of multiple types of cancer. And something fascinating so far that's only been done in studies in mice is that mice with damaged heart valves, when they were given coffee, the antioxidants in the coffee actually repaired the damage to the heart valves. That's absolutely remarkable if those findings can be generalized to human subjects. So there are many indications that coffee is actually good for you. And the other substance in mind is theobromine. Theobromine is one of the 5 psychoactive ingredients present in chocolate, or cocoa, I should say. And I really like to start the day with a mug of hot milk with a couple shots of either espresso or mixed half and half with some very strong double strength coffee or high quality instant coffee, and a packet of, usually I drink Trader Joe's organic cocoa mix, which is basically this cocoa powder and sugar, or I use some unsweetened cocoa powder. I like to get that combination of caffeine and theobromine, and again, maybe it's a placebo effect, but I am really on my game for about 5 hours after I have this beverage. And I don't get all wound up, I don't get wired, I just feel alert and clear and focused. And yeah, I'm kind of paraphrasing the line from Limitless, where the main character is taking that little clear tablet, NZT something. It's some fictional experimental drug with an alphanumeric code, which greatly enhances his IQ for about 12 hours, and his recall and his concentration and mental clarity, and also provides physical benefits like increased hand-eye coordination and increased ability to process sensory information. Well, it'd be great if something like that existed, but it's all fictional. The one thing they did get right is that the medication had severe side effects and very severe withdrawal effects. That was the most realistic part. Anything that would crank you up like that is going to come with a pretty big price tag. But theobromine is very benign. Caffeine is very benign, and they're not just benign, they have multiple health benefits. Cocoa, unless you load it, unless you get a cocoa mix heavily laden with sugar, really loaded up with sugar and preservatives, cocoa is good for you. Again, it contains multiple antioxidants, which are very beneficial. So 2 mild cognitive performance enhancers to consider are theobromine and caffeine. In other words, put some cocoa powder in your coffee. Give it a try. And then there's one last one that I'll mention, and the worst thing about this one is the delivery method, and the substance is nicotine. And I do not recommend anyone take up smoking cigarettes, pipes, or cigars, nor do I recommend chewing tobacco. But there have been some studies which are very promising, and I haven't checked on this in a while, so it may be past the study phase and it may be implemented, about the use of transdermal nicotine. In other words, a Nicoderm patch is designed to help people quit smoking with Alzheimer's patients. And what they found was, you put give a Nicoderm patch to somebody with Alzheimer's, they have a good day. They are much more clear, they are much more focused, they function much better, they enjoy some improved quality of life. And the reason for that is that nicotine has been well established to produce enhanced, not just enhanced concentration and attention, but because virtually all the other stimulants do that, all the central nervous system stimulants do that to some degree. But it also improves and facilitates memory storage very quickly, because I think I'm running out of battery life here. People with Alzheimer's dementia, their cholinergic neurons that secrete acetylcholine, are getting clogged up with all this gunk. Beta amyloid proteins and neurofibrillary tangles, the pipes are getting clogged. Some of the pipes are still working that make acetylcholine, which is basically a memory chemical. Nicotine cranks up acetylcholine, and it basically increases the output of the cholinergic neurons that are still working, which means you're going to have a better day in terms of memory, recall, storing memories, and attending. Not sure about the endurance, what happens when you take the patch off, how long those effects persist. Like I said, I read about this in research years ago. I need to refresh it and see about any new developments on this. So, just some things to consider. Proceed with caution. Disclaimer, I am not an MD. I am not a pharmacist. I'm a licensed alcohol drug counselor. And I have done volumes of research on all this stuff that I talk about, but don't take anything until you have spoke to your physician or your pharmacist, okay? Because somebody out there will drink coffee with cocoa in it and have, I don't know what will happen. Their hair will grow out, their teeth will grow, turn into fangs, and they'll run out in the road screaming and flipping cars over, howling at the moon, and then that'll come back on me some way, like it's my fault. Okay, you know what? I can't help it if coffee and cocoa turns you into a werewolf. That's not on me. So proceed with caution. Okay, I'm getting silly, which tells me my own dose of caffeine and theobromine are wearing off. So thanks for watching, and please hit subscribe. And if you have any topics in behavioral science that you'd like to see, that you'd like to hear about, leave it in the comments section. Everyone, be safe.